Hi, members of the class of 2024. We are excited to have you join the Shorewood High School family next year. We know these are unique times and wish we could have had you come over to experience a lunch tour firsthand, but we hope this virtual tour can provide you a good glimpse into the buildings to give you an idea of where things are, as well as hear from some of our students. I am Mrs. Norris, and I am one of the 3 counselors at Shorewood High School. I will be walking you through the different buildings, pointing out important things like bathrooms, offices, and some classrooms. We will start and end in the Student Support Service office, which we like to call STUSUP. Some of our students have answered questions most incoming 9th graders have, and we'll be talking as we walk through the school. First up is JC to talk about lockers.
So let's talk about lockers. So you're going to probably pick your locker on Forms and Fees Day, but you do not have to. I don't think I've ever picked mine on Forms and Fees Day, but it's probably the most convenient because you're already there and you don't have to come back. But in the case where you're not going to Forms and Fees Day, you will just come before school starts. So you will go and you will look at where you want your locker to be, whether that's by your first hour class or your 4th hour class, whatever you think is going to be convenient for you. Or honestly, if you just want you and your friends' lockers to be by each other, that's fine. That's cool. But you're definitely going to want to look and make sure that locker is not taken and that you're not just picking a random locker and you don't even know where it is. You will need to bring a lock beforehand because this is how you're going to secure the locker. So once you found whichever locker that you want, you'll go down to the office in the admin building and you'll sign your name on it and you will give the secretary the lock. Most people use their lockers, either for storage space or they'll come between classes to get different subjects because trust me, I know that you may think, I'm just going to carry all my stuff on my back. Trust me, by the end of first semester, if not the end of first quarter, your back is going to hurt. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. And, as soon as you just realize that using your locker is going to be so much more convenient, you will just can avoid that and you won't even have to worry about having back problems or any back pain because trust me, it is not fun. But yeah, using your locker, you don't have to get a locker. It's not mandatory or anything, but I definitely would suggest using it because it's convenient. When it comes to gym lockers, you will pick this during school, so you don't have to worry about also finding a gym locker. This is something that your PE teachers will take care of. And if you play an instrument, this is also something that your teacher will take care of. You will pick this during school because the drama building has obviously different rooms for different instruments, whether you're in band, choir, or orchestra. So that'll also be dealt with by your teacher. But lockers are fun. You can personalize them. You can put stuff in there. You can make it your own. Put some mirrors, some food. You can decorate it as much or as little as you'd like. Just make it your own. Make it personalized and make it fun because lockers are meant to be exactly that.
I'm Reese Nelson. I'm currently a sophomore at Shorewood High School. At SHS, you will be able to carry your backpack from class to class, to lunch, and obviously to whichever sports or after-school activities that you choose to be in. As for what people bring in their backpacks, it's mostly up to you. I've seen people only bring 1 to 2 binders at a time, and because of it need to stop at their locker after almost every class. On the other hand, I've seen people put so much in their backpacks that they struggle to pick them up when moving from class to class. Personally, I'd say it's best to be in the middle of these two, maybe not carrying everything that you need, but also make sure you're not stopping at your locker after every class, because that'll probably make you late. The first couple weeks of school, you have plenty of time to figure out a system that works for you, and if you find yourself stopping at your locker too often, just know that the teachers are often very lenient with tardies the first couple weeks of school, so you'll be fine. Personally, I usually carry the binders I need for my morning classes first, and then switch at lunch and only take home the binders that I'm going to need for homework that night. I also usually keep a pencil case, a planner, and a poly folder where I put the worksheets that I'm going to need to complete for homework. Overall, while the backpack situation at SHS is a lot different from that at SIS, after a couple of weeks, you will get used to it, and figure out a system that works for you.
As Reese mentioned, it's important to find a system that works for you. You may not know from day one what that system is exactly, but after a few weeks of seeing what materials you need for each class and the route you will take between classes, as well as when you get to stop at your locker, you will start to get the hang of it. Organization is one of the key factors to success in high school. In fact, disorganization can lead to lower grades, increased frustration and stress levels, and even lower self-esteem. Students who have better organization habits often perform better on assignments, get more done, and have more free time. We want all students to be organized, and like using a backpack, you have to figure out what works best for you. Organization includes managing your time, your belongings, your environment, and your priorities. One strategy that we find really helpful and encourage all students to use is using a planner, which Mariana will talk more about now.
Hi, I'm Mariana. I'm a sophomore at Shorewood, and I'll be talking a little bit about planners. So I use my planner every day at school. I write my assignments and tests and quizzes in there. I find that it's really helpful so I don't forget things. It's pretty similar to the planner in the middle school. I just remember to write it down right when I get the assignment so I don't forget. And some students, like myself, get a planner that's bigger than the one the school provides. I just do that so I can write my extracurriculars in there and other important events, like sport meets or games, stuff like that. I just find that it's really helpful to have a space to do that.
We encourage everyone to get involved with something at SHS, whether it be sports, music, drama, or an extracurricular club. We have so many different types of clubs, there is definitely something for everyone. We have Eco Club, Mock Trial, Art Club, Red Gen, and Student Council, to name a few. Most of the club meetings take place during lunch, so that students can participate in these, as well as sports or jobs or any other after-school responsibilities they may have. Lunch is about 50 minutes of time to use how you choose. And to talk a little bit more about what the lunch period entails, here is Nevaeh.
Hello, my name's Nevaeh, and I'm a senior at Shorewood High School. Today I'm going to be talking to you about lunch. Now, at Shorewood, we have a really unique lunch hour. It's not like any school I've heard of in a really long time. Shorewood grants its students a lot of freedom, and with that, we have something called Open Campus. Open Campus is during our lunch hour, and it essentially means we're free to go wherever we like during the lunch hour. We do not have to stay at school. There are no restrictions to where we can go, as long as we're back by the time the bell rings. If you're not interested in leaving, you're more than welcome to stay. We have our typical lunchroom where you can get your normal lunchroom foods, your milks, your hot lunch, as you may call it. And if you don't want the lunchroom, you can go to the pod. Now, the pod was an addition to Shorewood last year, and it really blew the lunchroom out of the water. It's essentially like a small cafe. There's coffee, there's drinks, there are sodas, which are all the same thing. There are other things like snack packs. You can get Pop-Tarts, chips, for a low price of under $3. It's really convenient. It is a really fun place to hang out. There are tables all around it. The lunchroom area, I guess you could say, is the pool building. A lot of people sit and eat lunch there. It's a really good environment. It's a really cool place to make friends. And I can't wait for you guys to enjoy your first lunch at Shorewood High School. It's going to be real fun. So keep your head up. Don't be nervous. You got this.
Communication is a really important thing in high school. We want to make sure you know who you can talk to and where you can go when you have questions. Anytime you do have questions about things and you aren't sure who to ask, coming to student support is always a great first option. If we can't answer your question, we will certainly point you in the direction to who can. Anytime you're feeling overwhelmed or need someone to talk to, your counselor is there for you, and we want you to seek us out. You don't need to make an appointment. You can stop in before school, during lunch, after school, or in between classes when it is really important. We also feel that it is important for students to connect with teachers, and to talk more about that, here's Ginny.
Hey, I'm Ginny. I'm a sophomore right now at SHS. So it can be really hard to figure out a way to connect with your teachers if you were absent and need help catching up. But the best things to do are, most importantly, just email them and let them know what's going on or what you need help with. It's super easy and quick. You can stop in during lunch, before school, or after school if you have time. I recommend just do it as soon as you know that you have any free time, because you're going to be busy and you don't want that to cut into your extracurricular or other activities. And if you know that you're going to be gone for anything, sports, theater, an appointment, just let your teachers know and they'll be totally chill about it. So, yeah.
My name is Will O'Connor. I'm going to be talking about the cell phone policy. The major question for incoming freshmen is, how is it different from SIS? It ultimately depends on the teacher. Some will let you keep it, while some prefer you to place your phone in a designated area. If you have any other questions, please feel free to contact me.
The full cell phone policy, as well as other important policies and guidelines, are expanded in more detail in the student handbook. This and other important stuff can be found on our website, which you will be able to explore in the scavenger hunt created by Mrs. Wells. If other questions come up, please feel free to reach out via email to me, Mrs. Norris, who works with students whose last names start with A through G, or Mr. Brown, who works with students whose last names start with H through O, or Ms. Hoffman, who works with students whose last names start with P through Z. We hope we will be able to see you all in the fall in 3D and look forward to getting to know each and every one of you. Welcome to Shorewood High School, class of 2024.